He proposed with the same ring he gave his ex. I found out after she sent me photos. I always thought when he'd propose, I'd know. Like I'd sense it in the way he held my hand tighter that day. Or how he'd glance at me with that nervous excitement people always describe in those cheesy engagement videos. But no. Nothing prepared me for it. It was random. Spontaneous. Messy. And yet magical in its own chaotic way. It happened on a rainy Thursday. We had just gotten into a silly fight over something completely stupid. Who forgot to buy dish soap or something. I was sulking, arms folded on the couch, when he suddenly got down on one knee. No fancy dinner. No romantic music. Just our cluttered living room, the smell of leftover Chinese food, and us. "Marry me," he said. Just like that. He pulled out a ring and held it up, and I swear, everything in me paused. I cried. Not because it was glamorous, but because it felt real. Raw. Like love in its most honest form. I said yes. We kissed. We laughed. I called my mom, and she cried too. It was the kind of story I thought I'd always cherish. Until the story changed. Until 3 days later. I got a DM. From his ex. With photos. Of her hand. Wearing my ring. 3 days after the proposal, I was still floating. Still staring at my ring like a girl in a dream. My Pinterest boards were coming to life. I was already thinking of venues, dresses, flowers. Then, a message request on Instagram. It was from a name I recognized immediately. Celia. His ex. I hesitated before opening it. We weren't friends, never had been, but I'd seen pictures, heard stories. I even remember how awkward it was when I found out they still followed each other. But he swore it was no big deal, that she was in the past. So why was she messaging me now? I clicked it open, heart thumping. Hey? Not trying to start drama, but I thought you should know. That ring looks really familiar. There were 3 photos attached. I tapped the first one. And my heart dropped. It was a picture of her hand, taken maybe a year ago. Same ring. Same exact ring. Same dainty band with the oval-shaped diamond. Even the tiny scratch near the base identical. I stared at it for a long time, trying to convince myself it wasn't true. That maybe all rings just looked alike. That maybe this was a prank. Or a coincidence. Then came her second message. He proposed to me with that ring last year. We didn't work out, but I gave it back. I just thought you deserved to know. I felt like I couldn't breathe. It wasn't about the ring being reused. It was about everything it suddenly represented. Was I just a replacement? Had he ever really let her go? Was our engagement even special or just recycled romance? I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed staring at the ring on my finger, a ring that once sat on hers. Every glance at it made my stomach twist. The sparkle felt dull now, like it had been dipped in lies. By morning, I couldn't take it anymore. I needed answers. He was in the kitchen, casually making coffee like our life wasn't unraveling. I walked in, holding my phone with the photos pulled up. I need to ask you something, I said, my voice low, shaking. He looked up, smile fading. What's wrong? I handed him the phone. You tell me. He stared at the photos. Blinked. And then, in a tone so casual it made me dizzy, he said. Oh. I didn't think it mattered. It's a nice ring. Just like that. Like it was no big deal. You gave me her ring, I said. You got down on one knee, told me I was your forever and you couldn't even bother to get a new ring. I mean. It was expensive, he mumbled, suddenly defensive. She gave it back. What was I supposed to do? Throw it away? I stood there, stunned. You were supposed to start fresh. With me. Not make me a part of your leftover love story. He sighed like I was the one overreacting. It's not that deep. You said yes, didn't you? And that's when it hit me. To him, this wasn't about love. It was about convenience. After our confrontation, I thought maybe he'd try to make it right. Apologize. Offer a new ring. Something. Instead, he went quiet. Distant. Like I had embarrassed him for finding out. I couldn't stop staring at the ring. It felt heavier now. Like it carried the weight of someone else's promises. That night, I took it off and placed it on the nightstand. He noticed. You're being dramatic, he muttered, not even looking up from his phone. It's just a ring. No. It wasn't. It was a symbol of something that was supposed to be ours. And now it felt borrowed. But it wasn't just the ring anymore. It was the subtle comparisons he'd made over the months. She never used to complain about things like that. Emily loved this restaurant. Emily always wanted 2 kids, too. God. I didn't even notice how often her name came up. Until now. I was chasing a ghost. Trying to fill shoes that weren't mine. And the ring? That was just the proof I needed that maybe I never really had a place here to begin with. The worst part. I started questioning myself. Am I overthinking this? Should I just let it go? Was I being insecure? But deep down, I knew the truth. A woman knows when her man hasn't let go of the past. And I was tired of pretending not to see it. I wish I could say I moved past it. That I brushed it off, forgave him, and we planned our dream wedding. But I didn't. I couldn't. Every time I looked at that ring, I didn't see love. I saw shame. Comparison. Leftovers. He kept saying, it's just a ring. But it wasn't. It was the symbol of something I thought was ours. And maybe the worst part. He never even apologized properly. He acted annoyed whenever I brought it up. He called me a dramatic. Said I was ruining a good thing over nothing. So I stopped bringing it up. Instead, I started noticing other things. The way he'd go quiet when her name came up in conversation. How he still had old photos in a hidden folder on his drive. The way his sister accidentally called me her name at a family dinner. I felt like I was wearing another woman's life. And I started wondering if he actually wanted to marry me or if I was just the easiest option left. 2 weeks before our wedding, I found the bridal box. Tucked in the back of our guest room closet. Dusty. Unlabeled. Inside it. A lace garter. A pair of white heels. And a handwritten letter addressed to her. I can't wait to make you my wife, it read. This ring belongs to you. Forever. My knees buckled. It wasn't just the ring. It was everything. He hadn't just reused a piece of jewelry, he had recycled a promise. I sat on the floor for hours, clutching the letter, hoping I was wrong. When he got home, I showed it to him. He didn't deny it. Didn't even look surprised. He just said, "Why were you going through my stuff?" I didn't shout. I didn't throw things. I didn't give him the dramatic meltdown he expected. I just took the ring off, placed it on the kitchen counter, and said, I deserve something that was meant for me. Not something left behind. He called me ungrateful. Said I was too emotional. That I'd never find someone who loved me like he did. But I didn't look back. I walked away. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free. And if you were in my shoe, regardless of using his ex-ring to propose to me, will you marry such a man that only sees you as a replacement?